welcome everyone to another Games Talk Live. All right, this week, of course, Hargeet is with me. We have no guest this week, but it's going to be a good show. We've got several things to talk about. By the way, my voice is kind of messed up. I'm fighting a sinus infection, just letting everybody know, but should be good enough to go here for this episode. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about this week, Hargeet. It's pretty interesting. First of all, how have you been doing, Hargeet?
Yeah, so last weekend, of course, we missed our episode. You had a family engagement. I went to PAX East.
How
I
was
put up
that?
some content. Yeah, there was still plenty of stuff there. It wasn't. I guess there weren't as many bigger games, like as in AAA games, but there was still some stuff there. And there was a lot of little indie stuff. So I put up some videos of things that caught my eye. So check that out. It's on my site if you guys want to go check it out. But yeah, it was pretty good. I caught up with Lemon and Keasante and Everborn, and we hung out for a bit. But yeah, it was good.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to check that out, guys. His link is in my description, so you can go over to his channel after the show. Check out all that stuff that he's got going on, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe to Hargeet. By the way, what have you been playing this week since you've been back?
So I've started up Doom.
Nice.
I played a couple of games that were leaving Game Pass, and okay, whatever. I didn't finish them. But yeah, I started up Doom, and I'm on like I think the second chapter or whatever. But I started it on console. I bought the collector's edition, which apparently locked it to the console, which is kind of weird, because normally you have cross entitlement.
Yeah.
The premium content was apparently locked to the console, which is kind of annoying. So, anyways, I started it on console, and then I said, okay, let me see what it's like on PC, because apparently it has some cool bells and whistles on PC. So I brought it over there. Of course, the save transfers, no problem.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so I've set it to ultra nightmare settings, whatever like a top level settings.
Yeah.
Still very very fluid. It's id Tech is fantastic, right? So, but
Yes, it
yeah, and
is.
it's a fun game. I don't know if you've tried it yet or not,
Not
but
yet, not yet, but I will.
I haven't. I didn't. I played 2016. I got a bit through it, and I'm like, nah, whatever. And then I played Eternal. Maybe played an hour or two, and I'm like, ugh, I'm done. And then this one though seems like a lot of fun. Like the game mechanics are actually really cool. I like it.
It does look
So
fun.
far I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah, I wish more people, outside of Game Pass were enjoying it, because I don't know why there's only like 31K concurrent players on Steam playing the game. It's like it's rather low, I've been asking people this question pretty much all day. Whether it be my WhatsApp group or Discord. I'm like, why do you guys think that the concurrent? I'll ask you, Hargeet. Why do you think the concurrent player is kind of low for this game right now?
I don't know. Look, a lot of people might have finally caved and just decided, hey, dude, there's so many freaking games on Game Pass. Why not just get it? It's $12 on PC, and maybe that's one reason. The other reason is we just had Expedition 33. We just had Oblivion. Those are big games,
True.
and maybe people are still playing those, and they're like, I'll get to Doom when I finish those. And I
I
wouldn't
could see
blame
that.
them, right? Because
Yeah.
those are really really good games. So, it's just the way it is. We're eating so well right now as far PC and console for Xbox is it's unbelievable. There's how many good games are coming out, right? So that's just it. So it might just be that. I don't know, right? But 31K is nothing to laugh at. Like, that's
I
a lot
no,
of games, right?
I yeah,
A
I
lot of concurrent
know,
players. But
but when you look at other games that have also launched on Game Pass, like even Expedition 33, they still really did well concurrent players wise, in the first 48
Mhm.
hours. Then you've got, like, of course, COD. COD always does well, but and
Yeah,
I know COD is a huge franchise to even compare to Doom, but still, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's one that not everybody's just going to jump into Game Pass for, I guess. But I think the $70 price tag has something to do with it as well. I
But
just don't
all
think
games are
many
now
people are
70,
paying
right?
$70 for games right now. I think they're
Yeah,
being very selective. And like you said,
that's possible. But
if they're jumping into like Oblivion or Expedition, Maybe they're still playing that and they're like, since it's
Yeah.
$70, I'll wait for a sale. That might be the case. But for me, I'm just waiting because I've already started up a game and I want to play through it because it's a game I've
Yeah.
played many years before. And I don't, if I stop it, I fear I might not go back to it if something else comes out.
Yeah.
And it's GTA 5. I've only played it once, and I played it once back in
Okay.
2013. So me and Colt are actually going through the campaign kind of together. We started the game together and we're just going to play through it and see how our, playthroughs go and talk about it and stuff. We did that with Red Dead 2 earlier this year, and it was a lot of fun. And since Rockstar is our favorite devs, it's going to be cool. Also, not only that, I downloaded the newest mod for GTA 5 on PC. It's called the Natural Vision mod. It's as close as you're going to get to a GTA 6 look. It's pretty
Hmm.
darn freaking good. So that makes it interesting as well. So we have that to look forward to. Aside from that, uh, did you know? I'm sure you know because you've been on other podcasts this week, and you've probably talked about this stuff already. But the PlayStation earnings report. So they reported 77.8 million units shipped. I'm saying shipped because I think that's accurate. But this was up by 2.8 million last quarter. Um, Here's an interesting one. Just running through some of this stuff here from this earnings call. 80%. Okay, remember back, well, you weren't on Twitter, but I was on Twitter a couple of years ago when this whole movement was happening from the PlayStation fan base. It was called Forever Physical. And they would be forever physical gaming because they want to own their games. They don't want to do none of this digital gaming. Well, it turns out 80% of all game sales for PlayStation were digital last quarter.
Hmm.
All game
Shocking,
sales.
isn't it?
Shocking
Yep.
not.
Yep.
Not very much. No, it didn't shock me at all. We all knew this even when they were running around saying forever physical. It's just BS.
Hmm.
You're basically all digital now, right? Hargeet?
I mean, I just bought Doom Collector's Edition, which did come with a physical copy of the
Aside
game,
for
believe it or
collector's
not.
editions,
Um,
yeah. But
uh, every now and then, if it's like a game, and it's been a while, the games I usually did physical were Lego games, because I could then put it in any console in the house when some kids might come over. Hey, you just play. Hey, play this, right?
yeah.
It hasn't been a Lego game. Like the last Lego game I bought was Lego Horizon, which was absolute
Oh,
garbage.
dude.
But
Yeah.
um, and there hasn't really been one from was it Traveler's Tales? What was the company that was from Warner that did all these like Lego games? They haven't done one in a while, and that's sad. I love those games. The way they did it was really good, but those are the ones I usually did physical. Every now and then, there's like a really good deal on a physical version of a game that I was
Yeah,
like
I could
iffy on,
understand that. Yeah.
so I might pick that up. But it's very rare now. It's almost always digital. But the reality is, I barely buy games because I'm so inundated with what I have in Game Pass
Yeah.
that I'm like, it would have to be something I like totally want to go buy and play. So like Assassin's Creed Shadows, I didn't even buy that. I just did the 1 year of Ubisoft Plus when they had a deal
Yeah.
for Ubisoft Plus. So even that I did on the subscription. It's
Y-
just there's just too many games.
Yeah.
So
And Palpatine has a point. Nowadays, most physical copies are just glorified keys.
it's really it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So,
you end up, even if they have the game on there, you end up installing that, and then there's like a 20 gig download
yep.
to patch it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, what's the point? I might as well just download the freaking game. What's the like? Why install it? So yeah, he's right. It's like there's just no point. Like the disc is almost
Yeah.
useless these days. So the only time it's of value to me is when like I don't have Game Pass on all of my consoles, and so it's nice to be able to say, hey, take this disc and just play it on that console, whatever, fine.
Gotcha.
But that's been so rare now. It's like, whatever. Uh, it's like, so digital is pretty easy. Now the only negatives, there are plenty of negatives, but the major negatives, if they ever lock your account, oh,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. Then you're screwed. Yeah. You can lose everything.
So,
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. PlayStation on this call also talked about tariffs and their possible responses to those tariffs. While they also say while their third party and DLCs sales are up They say their DLC and third party games are up. Their first party though sales are down. So I mean, we
Yep.
all figured that because I mean, what
There's
do
no
they
game.
have? Exactly,
They have
they have
MLB
no
The
games right
Show.
now.
That's it. That's all they put out, right? So, shocking that that's like. And MLB The Show came out after the quarter. Is that right? Did that come out in April
Yeah,
or did that
it
come out
did. I
in
think it came
March?
out in maybe end of March, but still very close to the beginning of the
Yeah.
last
So
quarter.
yeah, they just haven't had anything,
No.
and uh, if you like, Astrobot was their big game of last year, and Astrobot sold like absolute garbage. So it is what it is. This is, even though it was game of the year, nobody bought it. So that's
Yeah.
how it is with PlayStation.
Well, we're seeing that with a lot of, even AAA games, these days. They're just not selling very well. Again, the double A's seem to be the ones that are surprising everybody and really pushing the industry forward. Welcome, Cullen Prime. I was just on Gaz's show, so some of these people saw me
Ah,
there. Yeah, the last
ah.
45 minutes I was on there. One of the responses that they have to the tariffs, interestingly, Hiroki Totoki mentioned the possibility of manufacturing PlayStations here in America.
Well, I think it's all of it, right? It was just across the board their production for whatever they make
Yeah,
in their physical space. Look, consumer electronics for Sony has fallen off dramatically, which is just kind of weird, right? I want to say it was 60% of their revenue is now from content, not from physical stuff.
I
They
assume their
have
TVs still do well too, right?
their
No, they're
TVs have
not.
fallen off. From market share perspective,
So
the
expensive,
big
that's why.
yeah, the big players are Samsung, LG, um, Hisense, and TCL. Those are the big four that take up the vast majority, and I'm talking 90+%, like probably
Yeah,
98% or something like that. Everybody else eats up like the last couple of percent, and Sony is in that very niche market now of like, you want to spend $10,000 on a TV, you'll get something good from them, and it's like, well, who's buying that? And so
yeah.
that's kind of where they are. So it's just they're just not playing in that realm anymore. If you're gonna buy their lower end TVs, their market competitors are so much better than them that just ends up not happening as much. So they are in very, very small percent, and that's sad to me because I loved Sony TVs when I was, like
Same,
for
same.
my first couple of TVs. Sony, it was Sony. I bought 27-inch Sony, then I got the 36-inch Vega, right, and that was like $3,500, and I'm talking like mid 90s. That's probably the equivalent of $10,000 now. I spent a lot on Sony TVs over the years. I've spent many, many, like thousands and
Because
thousands on
back
Sony
then
TVs.
the image
They
was
were
vastly
tops.
improved. It
Yeah,
was
they
it
were
was way
tops.
above the others. Now it's so close with I mean
Yeah, it's just not
you could almost put a freaking new Vizio TV next to these expensive
getting
TVs
crazy,
and
isn't
they
it?
look really good.
Yeah.
It's
So
insane.
so unfortunately their consumer electronics world is pretty like marginal. The biggest things they have are the sensors they have for cameras that go into the phones,
Yeah.
their own cameras, and then to some level PlayStation, the console, which even there it's dwindling, right? And I don't know if you saw the
Which is
financial
why
forecast,
they don't want to raise the price again. That's what they're trying to avoid because they know that
but
that's going to
they
hurt
may.
sales. Yeah,
They
but it's going to
may.
hurt sales if they
Um,
do. They've mentioned that.
and it's almost, I'd say it's a good likelihood that they will increase the price. Even if they bring it here for production, I think they will still increase the price here. They've already done it everywhere else, right? So it's really just a question of whether they'll do it here. I
I
think
really
they
wonder
will.
how that would really change anything if they did manufacture here. They'd have to pay people here more than they would somewhere in India or
Yeah,
China.
people think it's
So
like it's a one-to-one. It's not, right? So, because
no,
I've done this in my life, I've actually shut down factories in the US and brought them over to Mexico and China and Malaysia. And so I know what they do. What they end up saying is, oh, okay, well, here we have to buy very expensive equipment to automate it to keep the price down. Over there, we don't have to do that. You know what we do? We just buy, like, we just hire morons who will do monkey see, monkey do all day, right? And they pay them absolute shit. So in China, it's even worse because they basically have slave labor. They don't care. They have
dude.
no interest in human rights.
I,
So they basically just say, "You will work at this, or we will kill your family," and that's the way it is, right? So that's
damn.
how they do things. That literally is how. Why do you think people
Wow.
in the hundreds jumped off a building? Because they had
Oh, I
literally no
know.
life. This is
yeah.
that's what they do over there, right?
Yeah, didn't they build
So
nets around the iPhone building? The Apple
well, that
building?
was that was our prophet Steve Jobs
Yeah.
telling them at Foxconn, this is what you should do. Instead of saying I'm horrified, he said you should put nets around the building, and when these morons decide to jump, they should roll back in the windows and get back to work. That's literally what that moron said. Anyways, that
Wow.
not moron, asshole. That,
Gosh.
so
I didn't even
so for
know
all
that.
those people who ever have anything to say about anything, if you buy an Apple product, you anyway, whatever.
Oh
I
my
won't get
God.
into it. I cannot stand that company. I cannot stand that company. They're the absolute epitome of evil. But anyway, so putting that aside, if they bring it here, it's going to be all automated, right? So the cost may be marginally higher, but it's not going to be dramatically higher. So it's basically they just swap human labor to automation, and then what ends up happening is the people who get jobs are the people creating the automation.
Yeah.
So you get higher paying jobs, creating better technology to make things better, right? That's usually what happens. Now China
Makes
has
a lot
also
of
started going
sense.
down that path, by the way. They have a lot of automation as well. So but that's the better path to go down, right? It's just to automate it and not have to do human labor, monkey see, monkey do. But that is literally what we did. We said we'll just hire 1,000 people because it's so cheap. We'll just do that
Yeah, I
instead of
heard there
buying
was
the
actually
million
like
dollar
people
equipment.
that are experts into screwing little tiny screws in, really fast. Like they
Yeah,
get
versus just get a
yeah.
freaking robot that goes
Yep. Yep.
just does it for you. Why would you anyway? But this is what we do.
Yep.
so
Yeah. I
so yeah,
just
I
thought
mean
it
it
was
might be marginally
interesting.
more expensive, but it wouldn't. And they should be able to eat that difference. In other words, that's really
Gotcha.
it. So, but whatever.
Yeah, and like I said, I was I was on the Infinite podcast for a little while yesterday too, and they were talking about tariffs, and I was like, right now the tariffs are currently paused. Yet our prices aren't on on these consoles. They've gone up and they're going to stay up. Even if the tariffs
Oh
go
yeah,
away,
yeah,
I
they're
told
going up.
them they're not going away. The prices aren't going away. Even if the
No,
tariffs
no,
go away.
the prices are gonna stay where they
They're
are.
going to stay where they are
Um,
because like
why
I've
not?
been saying for a long time now, they were going to do this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
These companies were going to raise prices anyway. And it's not just about Xbox. I'm talking about across the board. We
Yep.
saw this coming as soon as Strauss Zelnick was talking about this early last year about GTA 6
Yep.
possibly costing $100. We all knew what was going to happen. So
Yep.
it's not shocking. It's not
It's
shocking.
not. Yeah. I mean, you see PC components are crazy right now too. It just is what it is, right? And it's just a market driver. It's costing more. They're gonna pass that on. That's the way it is. Like in the consoles, we should just expect they're not gonna eat cost anymore.
Nope.
They're gonna just pass that on to you.
And
Whatever the
you've
cost
said
is, you're
that,
gonna pay it.
bro. Remember, we got a lot of flack for that when the PS5 Pro came out at $700. We said, "Yep, this is it. Everything's going to be $700 or higher next gen." And you get so much hate for it because you were saying the
Yep.
same thing back then.
Yep.
And
I would
it's
not
just
be surprised. 700-800, but $700 is now like your baseline, and then it
base.
might be way higher. It just is
Yeah,
what it
because
is.
people argued
What
with us and said, "No, but they subsidize," and you were like, "Nope, no, we're subsidizing.
That's gone.
That's
It's
gone."
gone. They're not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not gonna do it anymore. We're in a different world.
We are.
Even more interesting was that they were forecasting PlayStation's revenue to decline next year.
Yeah,
So
saw
they're
that.
expecting it to decline. And they're expecting hardware to continue to decline. They're expecting now they're switching over to MAUs, like they should be, right? So their finance guys are saying we want more monthly active users. We're not worried about console sales, right? So the regime has changed. That's what they are saying, by the way. They're saying the regime has changed, and we are now looking for monthly active users, not for console sales.
Yeah, that's
Which
interesting, right? That new CFO.
yeah,
Hmm.
right.
But
And it's
but
like,
but
well,
it's not the
yeah,
first time we've heard this from Sony. Like it seems like
no.
several of their CFO, Hiroki himself has said this before when he was their
Yeah, but now
CFO.
he's changed everybody out, right? And
Yep.
everybody said, "No, no, no, this Jim Ryan's retired." No, 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 no. He was pushed the f out because his mentality was console sale, console sale, console sale, and he's like, "Well, no." Hiroki's like, "I don't care about that. I want more money." Right? Console sales are nice. How do I get what Microsoft's doing? Why are they making billion? What's going on here? I want my money. Like, I don't say the same thing when I'm selling a movie. I don't care whose theater it's in. I don't care whose Blu-ray player it's in. I don't care whose stupid subscription it's in. I just want my money. It's like that's his mentality, right? So,
Yeah.
and their studios have been, and that's a whole other story. Their studios have been just like absolutely atrocious. Some of them are good, but a lot of them are not.
Yeah. Well,
And
let's talk
trouble.
about that. Okay. Speaking of PlayStation right now, Hargeet,
Oh my
the
god.
whole Jade
What a bad
Raymond
week they've
thing.
had.
You know, Jade Raymond's no longer at PlayStation, and this was their
Uh-huh.
lead developer for Fair Games. She was in charge. She's left
Created
the
her own
building,
studio called
folks.
Haven.
Haven, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are already speculating that she could have been fired because of the recent
Oh, she was
playtesting.
fired, dude.
Yeah, so
Because
let me just say this real quick.
go ahead.
So there's been recent playtesting by the public of Fair Games, and it has
Yep.
not been good. People have
Yep.
been talking crap about this game.
Which
So
is not
then
cool.
all of a sudden, Jade Raymond's gone. She's left the building, and
Mhm.
they're not really saying it, but I don't think it needs to be said. I think she was let go. That's an
Is
opinion.
yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the way it went, right? Because if you're gonna go somewhere, then you at least talk to your team about it. It's like, hey, this isn't about you guys. Hey, I'm going to this opportunity that's too good. I gotta go there. I love working with all of you. I hope nothing but the best. Nothing. The people who at that studio walked into the office and her office was empty. She was fired. It's
this
very
could be
clear
another
she was fired.
Concord situation right here.
Oh, how much you want to bet that in within a month that studio is closed and the game is gone?
Probably. It probably, yeah, it might not make the light of day. The game might not come out at all.
I mean, like, how are they going to salvage it? What do you think they're going to do? And it's the same with Marathon, which is another whole topic. But
Oh,
anyways, let's
Jesus.
stick
We'll
to
get
this
into
one.
that later. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the playtest was bad. I don't think there's going to be a simple, easy fix. Once, if people didn't like the game loop, you're done.
You're done.
It's done. So like, there's too many other games. This is not the world in which you can put something out that isn't just immediately fun. If it's not fun, you're done. It's just over. There's no easy answer to that, right? You take something like was it X Defined? I think it was the Ubisoft game that was supposed to be really really good, a COD killer type game. People liked it. It still did nothing. It got shut down. That's how like crazy it is, right? They even have like the gunplay of Tom Clancy games. It didn't matter. So you have to be unbelievably cool. You have to have a real like Marvel Rivals, right? It's Marvel characters. Cool. People want to play that because it's Marvel characters, right? What is the hook? And if you don't have it, everybody saw that trailer and said, "What the heck is this shit?" Nobody was like, "Oh yeah, this is great." Nobody. Like,
Nobody.
come on. Like, so
Yeah,
it
Cult
had
Classic
very
Cage
little
says it
chance to
best in
begin
the
with.
in the chat here. She says Fair Games looked like shit. I didn't need
It
to play
did.
it to
It
tell.
did.
It did. It did.
It
But
looked like Payday. With Payday, by the way, is like a mid-level okay franchise, right? It doesn't do massive numbers, but it does enough to sustain itself. But that's because it's not like at that high AAA thing. It's like, yeah, this is just a little AA type thing. Cool, good enough, right? But are you serious if you're gonna spend a ton of money on a game like that? You have to have something that's gonna be a real big hook. Obviously, it failed. When they played tested it, it failed. So
what's Jade Raymond's biggest claim to fame when it comes to games? Like what
it's
was
just
her
AC. It's
She's done a
AC.
lot
It's
of AC.
Assassin's
I know
Creed.
that, but
That's it.
I think she's done something
A
with
little bit of
like
Watch Dogs. That was
what was
basically
it?
her thing. That's it. I don't think
Didn't
she's
she do
released
something
a
with
game outside of
Sims
that.
too? The Sims, like I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, but a lot of people put her up on this pedestal, and I don't know why. But you know, she's to me, she's no Amy Hennig or anything. But
No.
it's, man, it's sad. It's sad that this has happened, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad it's happening, especially when it comes to all these gas games trying to be made. That obviously these companies are just pushing for and chasing,
Mhm.
trying to just get something that's a win for them, for their pockets anyway. When they should just be chasing a win for the consumer, a win for those for the gamers that want to play these play their games. Like build something that we want to play first and foremost. Don't build something based around microtransactions and whatever else you got scheming up your sleeve, because it's going to fail. It's going to fail. I
Yeah.
mean, we can even this happened this week too. Arrowhead Studios. And now they're not part of PlayStation, but they had an exclusive game, Helldivers 2, only on PlayStation. They've already said their next game, multiplat.
Yep.
So they're not going to stick to this whole exclusivity thing with PlayStation going forward. Which means, who knows? We might see a Helldivers 2 at some point on Xbox, or, who knows?
Or Switch, right? And we
Yeah.
keep forgetting that that's also a big market, right? So we keep thinking of just Xbox. You think Arrowhead says 150 million consoles? Can I get like a 0.5% of that? Like, why
Yeah.
not? If they can make their game work there, why wouldn't they, right? And that's always been in the back. Like, people keep looking at just Xbox as the only competition. I'm like, dude, there's a whole other platform there with a ton of consoles. And if they just need a little small percent of that, and it's a lot for them. It's a lot for that studio to get those kind of sales, right? So why wouldn't they want to see that? And you think the Switch 2 is gonna top out at 30 million? Unlikely. They're probably gonna launch at 30 million. They're gonna end up at something like near 100 anyway. And you think they're saying, well, why wouldn't I want a percent of that, right? Even if it isn't Xbox, I think they should bring it to Xbox, but like, it's across the board. Like, a lot of these studios are now realizing getting in bed with Sony means you're locking yourself away. Getting in bed with Microsoft means you're locking yourself to nothing. You get to be everywhere. They don't care.
Yeah,
right?
even if you get in the Game Pass, you get a Game Pass bag, and you can go sell your game on every platform. Exactly.
Exactly. They don't care. Put yourself everywhere, no problem, right? So that's like Ninja Gaiden 4, right? Great deal for Koei, right? They basically get to have the game subsidized. It's in Game Pass, and it's gonna be everywhere. They don't care. Put it wherever you want. So like, it's a great idea to just be that open. Now we'll see what PlayStation does, because they're kind of changing their tune too, because they're saying, well, why the heck aren't we? Look at the amount of money they're making off us. Why shouldn't we put stuff there? Why shouldn't we put stuff on Nintendo? What's going on here? Like, why aren't we making money? Right? Because the finance guys, when they get involved, they don't care about console wars. They care about bottom line. Where am I getting my profits? That's all they care about.
It's exactly why we're in the position we're in, with Microsoft stepping in and saying, we want to raise prices because money. They want more profits.
Profit. It's all about the profits.
Yeah, and just when you think, oh, we've got no other bad news for PlayStation, unfortunately, Bungie was caught with their pants down this week. They're in hot water, folks. They've been doing something they've been doing for a while. They've been caught several times in the past for doing the same exact thing, stealing people's artwork. They've done this before. How does this happen? Look, there's several factors here involved. You have total mismanagement going on of this development studio. That's obvious. And then you've got a lack of creative types. And supposedly they have 100+ creative developers on Marathon. Yet 100+ creatives had to steal, or at least one of them had to steal something. And they did blame one of them. They did a live stream the other day that they were going to play Marathon with, by the way. And I thought it was hilarious because it was two developers, and one of the lead artists or whatever for Marathon. And they looked like they just wanted to slit their wrists the whole time. They did not want to be there. And they did address the situation and narrowed it down to, at least the artwork that we found so far was narrowed down to one developer who took this art. Let me show some of this stuff, by the way. I brought some of this stuff to bring up because it's
I think
so
a lot of that is
blatant.
baloney, because even that guy that was there follows the artist, and you're like, give me a break. How do you not know you're stealing their shit when you're seeing it in their feed? Come on, give me a break. And the entire the design language is based on that artist's work. They stole music from that artist. Like,
it was music too?
Yes.
I didn't even know it was music.
I'm like, are you kidding me? No, you're full of crap. You just outright stole this shit. You were with Gaz. Gaz is a lawyer. I actually wanted to ask him, because this person's from the UK. Here, I can just see every lawyer saying, ching, ding, 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 ding. Yep, all right, where's the, I don't care. You don't have to pay me. I'm going after this company. Whatever they give you, I'm taking 1%. We're going after them, right? Because I can see an easy 7-figure settlement. What the heck is going on with this company?
Look at some of this stuff. I mean, this picture here that I put up on the feed here, it's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1. I could go to the next, and it's 1-to-1. Like, and look at this. Look
It's
at how bad it
horrible.
is. This anti-real daily series wasn't even removed totally on the marathon side. It was still legible in some capacity.
Oh,
Bro,
it's so
what
bad,
were they
dude. It's
thinking? And then,
obvious they stole it. Obvious.
I mean,
Right? Like, come on.
every little detail and decal and everything was stolen. Yeah, let's just turn these upside down. There, it's brand new. That's all they did. And by the way, here's what the artists looked like on the feed that day. Let me see if I can find it. Let me put it up here. I'll get it. But yeah, this stuff is crazy that they even
Oh my
freaking
gosh, that is so
tried to.
horrible. On top of, by the way, Marathon is tracking to end up like freaking Concord, and like, how do you?
Look at him. That was basically his look for the stream. That was it. And
I'm waiting
it's
for it to
just
show
like,
up,
bro.
but isn't Anti-Real is a lady, right? Or is
He
a
looks,
dude?
yeah, anti-real. Yeah. This guy just has, yes, we
Oh,
know
this
we
guy,
stole
yeah,
written
yeah,
all
yeah,
over
yeah.
his face, bro.
Yes. The art director, is that I think that's his title,
Yeah,
right?
the art director, I believe. Joe
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, he was
And he also admitted
he was not happy.
that they are going through the whole game to try to remove or find possible other stolen art. And I'm thinking about, you're just saying this out loud? Like, I mean, they couldn't hide the fact that some of this stuff is stolen anyway, 1-to-1, but there's a
Yeah, and
possibility that there's more there.
oh yeah, and then they reached out to like, I highly recommend to Anti-Real, get a lawyer and then push this shit that way, because they're gonna sweet talk you into doing nothing. You need to sue their asses. This is $100 billion company. There's no reason for you not to sue their asses. Like, you should absolutely have a lawyer. Make sure whatever communications are happening go through your lawyer.
Yeah, Fuzzy Tomato is right. Him saying that they're looking for others means that they've already found some.
Oh yeah,
I believe
yeah.
that 100%.
Oh yeah.
And guys, this is not the first time they've done this. They've done this in games like Destiny. Like in Destiny 2, I guess there was this one character in there that was just copied 1-to-1 from somebody's art, and they put him in the game. And it's like, bro, like, what are you doing, Bungie? I mean, Bungie was once one of my favorite developers back in the day. Like, I loved old Bungie.
It's bad, man. It's
but
bad.
This is
I don't know
not the
what's
same
going on with
Bungie
them.
anymore.
But yeah, it's a liability. They're gonna have to deal with it. It's being called out. Like, Marathon was already tracking to be bad. This is pushing people away, right? Like, if you check the stream that they did, a lot of the comments were, "Why did you do this? What are you doing? This is terrible." Like, it's all about the artist. It isn't even about the game.
They were typing
like,
thieves and all this stuff, bro, and I was just, oh my god, that's why you had the guy looking like this. That's why he looked like this the whole time, because he was reading the comments. That's the man.
Well, somebody had a comment that was really good. It
comments.
wasn't here. It was just one of the ones in the other podcasts. You know how Arc Raiders was really good, right? It came out right around the same time, but Arc Raiders was tracking much better. They called them Art Raiders.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. And Arc Raiders, by the way, is going to kill Marathon. It's going to kill Marathon.
It's coming at the same time. It's absolutely gonna destroy it. Like, it was just sad. It just is what it is. But that is where Bungie is these days. They're just not the Bungie that we remember from the Halo days. It's not.
No.
So Destiny's done okay. It pushed me away because I'm like, this is not.
Do you know there are more?
I remember
there are more old Bungie devs at 343 than there are Bungie.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, or now Halo Studios. But yeah.
Yeah, Halo Studios.
So look, this has been a LL week for freaking PlayStation. It has not been a great week for PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 1 week Xbox will step on a rake, the next week freaking PlayStation stepped on 2 or 3 rakes, and it just happened.
Oh my goodness. Like, good luck to them. One of the things I've been saying is, like, I don't see anything in their roadmap that makes me say, "Oh my god, I gotta play that." Right? When I saw like E-Day, when we were all there, right? We saw that E-Day trailer. It was like, dude, this is fantastic. There's like grown man tears everywhere. This is this is the kind of stuff you want. The emotional engagement was great,
Yeah.
right? Do you see anything in their roadmap that makes you feel that way at all? Right? Like, what do they have? It's
Um,
bad over there. Like
I'm looking
intergalactic
forward.
people
I'm looking forward to
piled on
Ghost
it,
of Yote. I'm looking forward to that.
but not to that level. And I agree with you. I'm like,
And then
that's
I'm
cool.
also I'm
I'm definitely
also
looking forward to playing it. But like,
cautiously,
okay,
and I'm going to say it this way, cautiously optimistic for Wolverine. So I'm not
we'll see.
necessarily hype, but I'm cautiously
Because
optimistic
what I've
because
seen so far,
I know
I'm like, oh
Insomniac
my
can
god.
do great work, but will Wolverine be that game considering what I've
Don't know.
seen with the traversal, number one?
Yeah.
It just
So
kind of
far,
made me go,
not
what? Is this
impressive.
like,
But again, let's see what they do with it, right? But yeah.
yeah. So yeah, of course, like when I think of Gears E-Day, there's a lot more nostalgia there for me. So there's a lot more hype involved. But outside of Wolverine and Ghost of Yote, let's be honest. What do they have coming down the pipeline that we know of anyway
Aros, I
that
think
people
that's
are
right.
excited
Is
for?
that the name?
Oh, from the Housemart game, the new
Yeah, it's
that
like
okay,
okay.
but here's the problem with that game. If you look to the first game that that came out, it didn't do any big sales or anything. It wasn't huge. It wasn't a
Not.
big success.
I think
So
it sold at 500,000 on PlayStation, but then it got to a little over a million, I think, when it got to PC or something like that. I think
yeah.
it's in that range. Ratchet and Clank, which I mean that's a dead franchise because they're not doing any more of them. But like Ratchet and Clank sold like 1.5 million or something, million or
I
something,
mean,
something
they
like that.
they,
It
they
wasn't
can
that
still
much.
rehash another God of War, but I even think God of War is kind of dwindling for them. I,
Yeah,
I I just
it is.
I just don't know. Like, and people will argue with me. I know we're going to get people in the chat. It sold 15 million copies. I get it.
But the other one
Okay.
sold 20 plus, didn't
Yeah,
it? I mean, like,
exactly.
so,
And I don't think people were as high on the second one as they were the first. At least I wasn't.
and to your point, like again, it was available at 60. But if you wanted the cross gen, you had to buy the $70 version, right? If you wanted to have the
Yeah,
PS5 version,
yeah,
that was their
for
first
sure.
game that went to 70. So yeah, that also is gonna hit. It's gonna hit. There's definitely a loss in sales when you go to 70, and if they go to 80, it gets even worse, right? So you just have
Oh
to
shoot.
play that through.
Shout out to Boba Fett Gaming in the chat. He says Insomniac is overdue for a flop. Now, are we to say that every studio has to have a flop? Because I don't think that's
Um,
fair to say.
yeah, I mean maybe not, but yeah, everybody tends to stumble at some point, right?
Well,
So,
true. You get some games that aren't as good as your last for sure. That happens. Argy,
yeah, I mean,
I'm
like Ninja Theory put out that Bleeding Edge. Was that them? I think it was them, right? I think it
yes,
was Ninja Theory,
yes,
right? They put out
yes,
Bleeding Edge.
and
That was a
that
flop, I
was a
guess,
flop.
right? But it
Yep.
was just a little passion project they put together. I was like, okay, fair enough, whatever. So, eh.
One thing that this showed me, though, this whole Bungie fiasco, is it really speaks volumes on the AAA gaming space today and the lack of
Ugh.
creativity, bro. That's what it shows me.
Yeah.
It shows me there's two factors here involved: the lack of or creativity and mismanagement of these studios. Because in any other studio or in any other industry, if you have really good management, you won't have this problem. You won't have a lack of creativity. And even if you do, you definitely won't have people stealing art from other places. Like
Blatantly stealing
total
art.
mismanagement of this.
What
This
is going on?
Bungie is just a wreck. But
Yeah.
also, I see a lot of this going on in other studios outside of PlayStation. It's happening everywhere within the
Yeah.
AAA space. And that's why I think a lot of games today are really being, AA games anyway, are being, put on a higher pedestal because they deserve it, man. Games like Expedition 33 have proven to me, and there's several other games I can mention, Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. These types of games, you don't need a big inflated budget to make quality projects like this, games that people want to play. fresh experiences that people want to play. You don't need that. And you don't need huge studios to create this. You could have a 33-man team like Sandfall and create Game of the Year. So it's incredible.
Well, I mean, even last year's Game of the Year, that's I think a 50-man team, right? That made Astro. It's not a very large team. So that's really, I mean, like, yeah, it just really comes down to fun game loop, fun experience that people walk away with saying, yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of that, right? I wanted to keep playing and keep playing. That's really it. And like hook them, make the 3-minute game loop, the 1-minute game loop, the 10-minute game loop very, very good. And it just keeps them playing. That's what you want to do. So, yeah, whatever. We'll see how that keeps going.
I would say that the AAA gaming space, from what if I look back, seems like it's been going downhill for the last decade in terms of being innovative and doing something new. We were talking about on a Gaz's show. I didn't know this, but Gaz told me that Colin Moriarty said that we hit peak gaming with Horizon Forbidden West. He says basically that's the ceiling. And he's completely wrong, because Expedition 33 came out and disproved that whole notion that is peak gaming. It doesn't make any sense to just try to put a cap on how innovative these companies can be, because they could go a lot further than this. And we even pushed, we talked about the idea of even incorporating AI even more within these games. When it comes to dialogue and having more realistic type dialogue with NPCs and stuff within these games, that could all very well happen. And it's just like, now he could have just said, in my opinion, that's peak gaming for me, but he kind of said it as if it's an absolute across the board, and that's where I disagree. It's just, I don't see it that way. I think we can go a lot further, and it's just sad to me that where we're at right now with AAA gaming and the pricing for AAA gaming. I think if people are already having a hard time spending $70 on a game today, what do they think is going to happen next year with $80 games? Do these companies not think?
I don't know, man.
I mean, if people are already struggling to buy a $70 game, what the hell is going to happen at $80? Like, people are already being really selective today. And then you get these bangers that come out for $50 like Expedition, and you're like, holy shit, this game is better than these AAA games and at a lower cost by freaking $20, soon to be $30. It's insane. But that's
and hopefully people are more in line with the I don't need every blade of grass to move, and I don't need every freaking tree leaf to move. Like, because that's what takes up all this stupid energy. I don't care. I've said this for years and years.
I think it's I'm with you. Like ray tracing, it's not freaking necessary.
I don't care. I want the game. Just give me the game. If you can give the game to me in like 2.5 years, please give me the game. I don't want all this extra garbage. I want to play the game.
I want good gameplay mechanics. That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well done gameplay, well done dialogue, well done story, and just let me play the game. I don't need fancy graphics. Everything doesn't have to look perfect. I don't care. Just let me play the game. It's gonna be fun if I just play the game.
But then you get these games that come out with smaller budgets, like Expedition, Baldur's Gate, Kingdom Come, and they look incredible at a much smaller budget than these games that are freaking have these crazy astronomical inflated budgets that don't do half as well as these smaller games. It's insane. It's insane. Fuzzy Tomato says ray tracing isn't the expensive part. I think what we're trying to say is that, you know, all the details they have to add and everything, or they choose to add, aren't necessary. And everything costs time and money, of course. Like
exactly.
You're still going to put more effort into that. Hargy, I'm going to let you take this because I am not the tech guy here, but I'm hearing and I've watched a couple of videos on this. What is this rumor about the next Xbox being ARM-based instead of x86?
Yeah. It's not confirmed, right? But there is potential that I think Brad Sams was saying is confirmed, but there is potential that they would do an ARM version of the next box. So look, the majority of what Xbox has been doing is kind of following what Microsoft has been doing. Is like, we want to have portability, so therefore you want to have ARM as
Oh yeah.
processing power, because it's going to be less power hungry. So your portability is better with ARM. But then you just virtualize and allow, just like they do with the Xbox now, where you have a virtual hypervisor that basically comes up and says, I'm going to boot up Xbox 360, and you can run your 360 game. No problem. You want to run your Xbox original, they just boot up an Xbox original. And they have a hypervisor that handles all the translations, right? So they're like, well, hey, we could do the same thing and still give you backwards compatibility. But going forward, we can give you something that does, native on ARM, or it doesn't have to be native on ARM. It can still be native x86 code that they just translate and runs it on ARM. It'd be better if it was native on ARM. It'd be less power hungry, right? But that's the point of it. And so they're saying, hey, there's a potential, if you have a portable, it might be better running it on ARM versus x86, because x86 tends to be more power hungry than ARM, right? So ARM tends to run much better. That's why most of your phones, well, all your phones, are ARM based, and they have much better battery life. So that's kind of the target for something like that. Now, I don't know if that means that the under the TV console will be ARM. It may be, it may not be, right? But it's open, right? It's a potential that they could go to either way. So if they decided that that's the direction they want to go, fine, right? Whatever. Your Nintendo Switch, for instance, the Switch 2, the Switch 1, they're both ARM, right? So they run that way. It works. You just have, it's a different way of looking at things. But if you're doing portable, it's definitely like proven out that it works better, giving you better battery life when you do ARM. The architecture is just designed to work better that way. So that is generally why they might decide to go down that path. X86 has caught up quite a bit, but it's still not as good as ARM. So that might be the reason they do that. Surface has now decided to do both. They give you x86 if you want it, but they also give you ARM. And so if you want the longer battery life, you can use the ARM version. It's not as performant. That's the thing you have to worry about. It's not as performant as its x86 counterparts, but you do get the better battery life. And it's generally performant enough for most of the things you want to do. Now, if you're doing a portable, your expectation is going to be, this isn't going to be as powerful as what I put under a TV, right? So if you're okay with that, getting better battery life, I think, is going to be one of the big considerations for somebody buying a portable device. So that's kind of the thing you have to look at, right? So, and again, the Switch is doing that. They're doing it today. So we'll see. That might be a good path to go down if they want to have something that's good enough performance, but longer battery life, right? That is one of the main considerations you want to have, and not make it too heavy to have this brick in your hand, right? With batteries. So that's just kind of the trade-offs you have.
That's kind of the takeaway I had when I was listening to some of these videos talking about it, the possibility. It seems to lean more towards, or people's idea of this seem to lean more towards it being about the portable that they're going to create, rather than the set-top box that, the console itself. Because it makes sense. I mean, especially when you want more of a performant machine, you're going to want x86 in the console. But
and by the way, may have nothing to do with Xbox. I also point that out. They might be saying, hey, we're going to try to move Windows to have access to your Xbox library. And if that's the case, this could be about Surface. It could be about partner devices that are running on ARM, right? Because Surface does run on ARM, and they're like, hey, we want even that device to have access to your Xbox back library, right? So if that's the case, then they're going to look for ways to make Windows, just general Windows, work that way. So it could be about that, right? I'm just speculating. I don't know.
Yeah, and all this is just based off, this job description anyway. It's not like nobody really has any concrete information about where this is going to go. Biffernaldi, thank you very much for the member for 29 months. He says, Game Pass over $80 games any day. It's so obvious. Yeah, I would agree with Game Pass being, it looks like Game Pass would be a better alternative than having to spend $80 a pop for each game that comes out, especially for Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to get 4 games at $80 a pop that year, you might as well just hit Game Pass. Yep. You'll save money there. That's for sure. Fuzzy Tomato, we were talking, he was saying that, he was talking about some devs were complaining that Baldur's Gate 3 was set too high a standard for gamers' expectations. And I said, yet it only costs 100 mil. He said that 100 mil is a lot. Not in today's AAA gaming. Most studios are spending 250 and above mil. It's crazy what they're spending on a lot of these. Fonz, are you still subscribed? What are you talking about, Falcon? Still subscribed to who?
To Game Pass, I assume.
Oh, right now, currently I am. I subscribed last month to try out several games that were out because I waited until there was like 4 games I wanted to play. And so I played a couple of games, and then I just stayed subscribed because there's more games coming this month. Doom was one of those games, and Expedition 33. So I was like, might as well stay subscribed. So that's how I'm treating Game Pass right now. It's basically, I wait until there's a bunch of games that I want to play, and then I will jump in and jump out. And just, to me, it's a great way to do it. I mean, they allow me to do so. So I don't see a problem in doing that. It saves me money. So that's how I'm running it. Yeah, but the whole situation with the ARM thing, I don't think it's such a big deal because, like you said, Hargeet, we really don't know what it's about right now. And when we find out more, I'm sure we'll be, either pleasantly surprised or just absolutely just not even concerned with it. It could be something that doesn't even bother any of us as gamers. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
Thank you, Soil Tech. He says, hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button if you like what you're talking about here, what we're talking about here. Anthony Clark, you're just weird, dude. He's just, you know what, man? You just need to go. It's so weird. Like, he came in saying some awful things about me, and now he's talking about me being a father or whatever. Man, just go do something productive. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand how some people want to try to get like under your skin, which you haven't got there for me. I just honestly, it's sad. It's pathetic what you're trying to do. Whatever. Moving on. Hargeet, anything else you would like to talk about this week, Hargeet?
Was there any other major thing? Let me just take a gander. I'm not sure what else was.
We missed last week, and I'll just say it now.
Oh.
GTA 6 was postponed, or the date was revealed for next year, so it was delayed.
Yep.
So we're delayed by a year, and that's fine. I'll wait for it. I can wait for greatness. I don't mind when stuff gets delayed.
Yeah.
I don't mind anymore.
I'd rather it take its time and come out. Look, I don't even know if I'm gonna play it on console. I think I might just wait for it because look, I don't have FOMO. If it really is 30, I might just say, whatever. I've got plenty of things to play. I'll just wait till it comes to PC and play it there. I don't know. We'll see, right? If it's reasonable, it seems to be okay. Even at 30, I don't think it will be. Then I think I'm just gonna wait it out. So it probably is a couple of years out for me, which is fine. I don't not a big deal. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you want to wait till it comes out?
I can't wait. Okay. So here's the thing. I talked to Gaz about this earlier. I said I would be able to wait 3 months. Now, if they can get it down to 3 months between the two, I could possibly do that. And I'll be like, okay, I'll wait. But anything longer than that, I can't. And I think that the PC version is going to be at least 8 months after. At least. I mean, bare minimum. But I think it's going to be a year before we get it on PC. Which I'll buy it again on PC. Yeah, I'm that guy with Rockstar. I'll buy it again. If it's good. Now, if I don't like it, I won't be rebuying it.
I don't know if we talked. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, here comes Albert G to say, so how about those PlayStation financials? Bro, like, stop. Who cares? Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care? Like, as a gamer, you shouldn't even care about that. It doesn't, I don't know.
And yet the revenue is going to go down. Their profits are
they're already expecting to go down.
They're expecting to make money off of their first party games in the next fiscal year, driven by Marathon and Yotai. And I'm like,
Marathon.
Are you reading the tea leaves? Good luck with that.
What were you going to say before I interrupted you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we missed the other Sony thing that came out was Team LFG has finally been announced. And they're making their Gummy Bears game. The Project Gummy Bears game. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I don't know what's going on with PlayStation these days, but they killed Twisted Metal, they killed Factions, they killed Spider-Man, they killed supposedly there was another military type, so we were assuming it's SOCOM, and they killed all of that, all the ones that people would actually want to play. They kept Concord, and that miserably failed. They're greenlighting Gummy Bears. Like, what are you thinking? Like, if you read the description of this thing, you're like, who is this for exactly? I don't know what the hell is going on with them. Marathon looks like a disaster. Like, what? I don't know what's going on with these guys. Honestly, their one shining spot has been Helldivers 2, and that wasn't even theirs. It was Arrowhead that made that happen. But whatever. Yes, I understand they own the IP, but come on, let's be honest. It's Arrowhead that made that game what it is, and they're now walking away from PlayStation.
And let's be honest, it's PC that made it a bigger success.
Oh yeah. So. Which is fine. That's fine. I don't care where they make their success. That's fine. But it's just the fact that what they're greenlighting is just garbage. I'm sorry. What? As I was saying, what are you excited for over there? It used to be that they had game after game after game, and oh my god, these guys are crazy. They have so many freaking things. I just don't see it anymore. I just don't. It's really disappointing to see where they are, but that's where they are, right? I did you read the description of Gummy Bears?
No, tell me about it. I haven't heard any of this, man. This is brand new to me, man. Gummy Bears. I just, you know what? I remember my kids when they were little. They would watch the show, and I remember that stupid song, Gummy Bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Yeah, just
let's see if I can get the exact quote of what they actually said it was. Or actually, I can just get Team LFG, which Team LFG, and it'll be fun to tell you exactly. All right, so let me see. They don't have the description here. They don't.
Falcon, you don't know what Gummy Bears is? Damn. Have you eaten a gummy bear? Have you eaten a special gummy? Ask Gaz about those.
Oh boy. Okay, so PlayStation Studios and Team LFG are collaborating to develop a team-based action game. This game will draw inspiration from various genres, including fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life simulators, and frog-themed games, whatever the fuck that means. Players will get to experience a light-hearted, comedic world set in a brand new mythic science fantasy universe.
Mythic science fantasy.
Yes. Light-hearted, comedic world set in brand new mythic science fantasy universe.
Oh, so it's a MOBA.
So it's a whatever. And I have no idea.
Dude, I don't like MOBAs, and I think this is going to be such a bad deal for them. Why are they doing this? Now, wait a minute. So I'm reading the description. How can they call this a colorful MOBA, but then also in the same paragraph say it reportedly draws inspiration from Nintendo's Super Smash Brothers?
Yes.
Smash Brothers and MOBAs aren't the same thing.
And it's a frog-like. What the fuck is it? Okay.
What frog-like? Dude, have they lost their minds at that studio?
so this is what we get. This is what they're greenlighting. And I'm like, oh, you guys, like they have totally lost it. I don't know what the heck they're doing. But okay,
Wonder-
you know what? Let's see what it is when it actually gets announced, and hopefully we won't all just burst out laughing.
Well, you know they're going to steal some art from somewhere. It's going to happen for this game too.
Yes,
so.
they're gonna go back to Frogger and
Yeah,
steal
Frogger.
that art.
That's it. Care Bears. Yeah,
Oh my goodness! But yeah, so that was another thing that happened.
That's strange,
yeah,
man. Gummy bears.
Yeah, this is where they are. Yeah, Project Gummy Bears.
Web
What
Dave,
else
thank you
is,
very much. He says, hit that like button. Everyone hit that like button. Member for 4 months. I appreciate that, Dave.
Xbox games are doing pretty well on PlayStation Store.
Oh, really? I thought they didn't like
that's,
PlayStation. I mean, Xbox games over there.
Yeah,
They don't
apparently
want 'em.
Xbox games are crap, but when they come to their store, they're really good.
Well, they get the better versions on the Pro, though. You got to give them that.
Oh, right, yeah.
They do get those better
apparently
versions.
Not so much, right? Doom is not running as well in the Pro.
Really? It's not?
Yeah. No.
Huh.
Apparently, Series X is outdoing the Pro. This is according to Digital Foundry. I'm just like,
Wow.
paraphrasing
You're just
what
a
they're saying.
messenger, right?
Yeah. So like whatever. Maybe that's fixed now. I don't know, but that's what Digital Foundry put out there. The Series X is the better console to play it on.
Okay. Welcome, Soily Tech. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. They'll steal art from the actual Disney Gummy Bear show. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, how the mighty have fallen when you're talking about Bungie. It's crazy. Like I would have never guessed if you would have told me, Hargeet, hey, guess what game Bungie's going to be creating next? It would never, but Gummy Bears would never enter my lips at all. I would never say that.
Oh my god, dude!
I would be like, is it going to be
man.
a Destiny style, first person great shooter? No,
or even go back to something as awesome as Halo, right? Very story driven,
Yeah, something
that pulls you in. Like no. It's Marathon and Gummy Bears. Yeah, that's.
Which, by the way, I still maintain that I hate the look of Marathon with a passion. I think it's the ugliest looking thing.
Some people seem to like the art style.
I know some people do, and we're all entitled to that. I get it, but you're wrong. Okay, that thing does not look good, man. It just does not look good.
Yeah, lots of little weird things like that.
Man. But yeah, you're right, Falcon. Gummy bears will be very colorful. That they'll give you. And frog-like, whatever that means. You know what frog-like might mean? Because in the show, as I alluded to earlier, as I said, the song for the show was Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. So they bounce like a frog. They're jumping. That's what the Gummy Bears are doing. God, this game seems so amazing already. Can't wait to see more. What it would be so insane. What if we saw this game and it was just so incredibly fun looking? I doubt it.
Maybe. Right? We'll see.
I doubt it.
We can reserve judgment, but I don't think it's gonna be that good. I just don't know.
Yeah.
All the teams to do it, Bungie, like, okay, well, fine, whatever. But yeah, but it's all PlayStation stuff. On the flip side, we of course had the major price hikes for the Xbox, and
we talked about that too before we left.
Yeah. Bad stuff like that, I guess. Yeah,
it's it is what it is. But
yep, Doom has come out, pretty good ratings. Most people seem to like it. I guess there's a couple.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that hate the game. Now, the only controversial thing I've heard about Doom so far is that the story is just meh. It's just there. It's not good.
Well, but it's Doom.
But yeah, exactly. And I think Skillup said it best. He was like, just skip the story. He's like, trust me, just skip it. Play the game. It's good. The story is not going to do anything for you in the game. and I think that's the right
It's
attitude
like
to
saying
take.
Street Fighter has no good stories. Like, who cares? It's Street Fighter.
Exactly, exactly. Same type of thing. It's Doom. You kill shit in Doom, and you have a good soundtrack.
Exactly.
To it. As long as it's got that going for it, it's a good game. Stilo Facts, you're right. Expedition 33 is game of the year. I will have a hard time putting anything above
Ghost
it.
of Yotai is coming. Death Stranding 2 is coming.
As much as I like Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotai isn't going to... I that's not fair to say. I was going to say I don't think Ghost of Yotai will be as good as Tsushima.
We don't know yet.
But I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. Only because I liked Jin Sakai. I thought he was underrated as a protagonist. Some people were calling him boring and stuff. I liked him. I liked Jin Sakai. This Yote character, I don't know. She has a lot to live up to.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say they have a lot to live up to. She has a lot to live up to. It's a woman,
and then,
obviously.
Again, Death Stranding 2 right now is going to have like combat and stuff. I don't know. Whatever they're doing, Kojima could potentially swoop in. We don't know, right? And we haven't even seen the rest of the year yet. We don't know what's coming, right? So we're up to May right now. We still have a long ways to go.
We still have. By the way, what did come out that I was kind of disappointed with? I'm not completely disappointed, but there is a level of disappointment there. Mafia Old Worlds. I'm upset to learn that it's more linear. It's not open world. That kind of sucks.
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
To me, it's kind of taking a half step back because the last Mafia was open world, free roam, and I loved it. I know a lot of people didn't, but I liked Mafia 3. I liked the protagonist, Lincoln Clay. I thought he was a badass. I just felt good playing the game. And I liked the free roam aspect. This is more like Uncharted, where there'll be these kind of biomes, and maybe you can free roam within these little biomes, but it's not open world.
Yeah.
And it could be
coming.
okay.
Borderlands 4 is coming. There's so many games we just don't know yet.
But
right?
Borderlands 4 is $80, Hargeet. How could they justify that price? That's insane.
Is it 80?
Yes. They came out and said it was going to be an $80 title.
Yeah, and so but again, there's plenty of other games coming. We don't know.
Yes, but there's a lot of games coming this year, for sure.
So I don't know. Like my current thoughts on what would potentially be nominated is Expedition, Split Fiction,
Kingdom Come,
Death Stranding 2. We'll see. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai, Mario Odyssey 2, which I think is going to get announced. And then there's one more, and that could be KCD 2. It could be Blueprints. It could be Mafia. It could be, I don't know, whatever, right? All sorts of other potential options. But I think those are going to be there. Did you one Xbox game I'm even putting in that category?
Did you play KCD 2 or no?
I did not.
Okay,
I played KCD 1 and got bored, and I stopped. But I hear KCD 2 is it's a lot the same, but it also the narrative and the progression system, like the pacing of the game is a lot better than the first. Yeah,
it's a lot better than.
There's also, by the way, Monster Hunter Wilds, and there's so many games.
But by the end of what I was getting at is by the end of KCD 2, I freaking loved it, and I thought this is game of the year. But then I played Expedition 33, and I was like, "Holy crap! This just overtook that." But KCD 2 was already on such a high mark for me, and Expedition is just like at that incredible level. I mean, Ghost of Yotai has to blow my socks away for freaking to be game of the year above these games. So I don't know, man. For me, it's going to be a hard one. Or easy, actually. I've got 2 games already on my list. Don't know. Layer Cake said Mafia 3 was a mess. No, I loved Mafia 3. I loved Mafia 3.
I tend to like it. I didn't have any problem with it, but people didn't like it. I understand Mafia 1 and 2 were kind of more Italian focused, but like whatever, it was fine.
I have a fond memory of the game because I played it with my oldest daughter, who's now 24. So when we were playing it, she was watching me play it as a teenager. She loved watching me play that game, and I remember we would do stupid crap in that game. Like we went to a telephone booth, and I killed an NPC and I threw him in the telephone booth. And then she goes like, hey, how many people can we fit in the telephone booth? And I said, let's find out. So we would just kill a whole bunch of NPCs and try to fit so many in the, turns out you can fit 18 in a telephone booth at once.
Wow.
That was the highest number we were able to stuff in a telephone booth. But we had a great time playing that game together. So I have a fond memory of that. So it could be different for you if you're playing it by yourself or whatever. But my kids used to love to watch me play some open world games and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
well, we'll see. We have a whole half a year to go.
We do.
So, and a whole bunch of announcements. June
this
showcase
year has been
up.
really good for gaming. Honestly, this year is really good for gaming.
So far, so good, right?
Yep. So I can't complain about 2025 at all. There's been some amazing games, and that's why I told you guys. I said, don't count on GTA 6 coming this year. I've been saying it ever since it was announced a year and a half ago. I was like, it ain't coming out in 2025, guys. Don't count on that. They always postpone. They always delay at Rockstar. And I heard Strauss Zelnick said that after they delay, or no, once they put out a date, they usually stick to it. And I think he's right on that. I'm not sure, but I think he's right. Once they put a date, I do think that it'll be out May 26th. I do think that's firm date. So I say bank on that. It's a good date. And it's also got something to do with the anniversary of Bonnie and Clyde as well. So it makes sense. So hopefully that happens. Cord Wayner says a Breaking Bad style mafia game might be interesting. Oh, hell yeah. I love Breaking Bad. That was such a good show. All right. Well, guys, we're going to get out of here. Hargeet, let everybody know where they can find you and your book and your website, or your YouTube channel, because you just put out content.
Yeah. So Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube if you want to check that out. And then shop.chani.us if you want to pick up my book. And I'll be on with Web Dave tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hopefully, I have a trip to Albany, but hopefully I'll be back in time. But yeah, so 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Web Dave's channel. And then next week, with Boom on Wednesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Double Barrel Gaming, and back with C Money and Doodle on Friday at 8-ish p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Point for Gamers. And then we'll be back next week as well. So.
Yes, we will. Albert G said Breaking Bad is the most overrated show. Yeah, name a better one, Albert G. You probably can't. You can't.
I know what he's gonna say, right? Last of Us the Last of Us show.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Talk about there's a whole meme set out on that show and how bad it is. It's not even funny. It's kind of depressing. It's sad. Because I would have liked to seen that show do well. But it sucks. Now you're wrong. Seinfeld ended awfully. It was awful. I love the show, don't get me wrong, but it ended stupid. Freaking Breaking Bad ended beautifully. Anyways, with that said, we're going to get out of here, and we will be back next Saturday. Hopefully I will be well rested and done with this whole sinus issue. And we will have a lot to talk about, hopefully. This year, you know what I noticed this year? It's already mid-May, and we're not getting a lot of info on new games. And usually around this time, we usually get a lot of info. It is surprising. So hopefully that busts out this week. Hopefully we start to get some leaks on these showcases, the Summer Games Fest, all this stuff.
Leaks.
I want to hear about stuff so we can talk about it. That's basically the reason why. Last of Us, Albert G laughed. See, even he has to laugh of it. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Albert G, Last of Us is trash. I'm gonna be a dad. And oh my God, dude. All right. With that said, thank you very much for joining this week, live here and after the show. On demand, Spotify. You can find us everywhere. I appreciate you. Until next time, game on.